My wife said, "I love you" to me every morning for 43 years, every morning, without fail. She said it when she was angry with me. She said it on the days we didn't speak at all. I never said it back, not once in 43 years. She died in 2011, in April, a Tuesday. I have been trying to figure out what to do about that ever since. My name is Walter Crane. I am 81 years old. I worked for the United States Postal Service for 35 years. I know how to write a letter. I have written one letter in my entire life that mattered. I am going to read it to you today. If you have someone who says, "I love you," and you don't say it back, stay. This is about that. My father was a man who shook hands with everyone, including me. I don't think he ever hugged me. I don't think it occurred to him. He was not a cold man. He was a warm man who did not know what to do with warmth. There is a difference. I learned it too late. We lived on Harbor View Street in South Boston. My mother cooked. My father worked. It was a good life, a quiet life. In my family, love was not something you said. It was something you did. You showed up. You paid the bills. You fixed what was broken. That was the whole vocabulary. I wonder sometimes how many of us grew up in houses like that. I started at the post office in 1963. I was 19. I liked the order of it. Every letter had an address. Every address had a place. Everything went where it was supposed to go. I worked the night sort for 6 years, midnight to 8. You learn to be comfortable with silence when you work nights. I was not an unhappy young man. I just did not talk much. I thought this was a character trait. It turned out it was a habit. By the time I understood the difference, the habit was very old. I met Ellen at a church dance in 1966. I did not want to go. My friend Dennis made me go. I have thanked Dennis for this many times. She was laughing when I first saw her, not politely. She laughed fully, the way some people do, like they've forgotten there is anyone watching. I thought, that is a person who is very alive. I did not know how to be that kind of alive. I was curious about it. Have you ever met someone who seemed to live at a different volume than you? We were married in September of 1968. Ellen wore her mother's dress and cried during the vows. I did not cry. I stood very still, which is what I did when something mattered. She told me, "I love you," for the first time 3 weeks after we started dating. I said, "Thank you." She looked at me for a moment and then laughed. I thought she was laughing at me. She told me later she was laughing because she had known right then that I was worth the trouble. We bought a house on Perkins Street in 1971. She planted roses along the front fence. Yellow ones, then red. She said the yellow ones were cheerful and the red ones were romantic. I said they were just flowers. She said, "You're hopeless, Walter." She was not wrong. We had 2 sons, David in 1970, Michael in 1974. She was a wonderful mother, loud about it. She went to every game, every recital, every school play. She embarrassed them terribly, and they loved her completely. I coached David's baseball team for 2 seasons. I drove Michael to his piano lessons every Thursday for 6 years. I was there. I was always there. That was my version of saying it. Every morning, without exception, she said it, usually in the kitchen before I left for work. "I love you, Walter." And I would nod, or say, or get my coat. For 20 years I did this, for 30, for 40. Did she mind? I asked her once. In 1994, 26 years of marriage. She said, "I know you love me, Walter. I just wish you could say it." I said I'd try. I didn't try. There are things we mean to do, and then there are the things we actually do. The distance between those 2 things, that is where regret lives. In 2001, my father died. He was 82. At the hospital, at the end, my mother held his hand and said she loved him. He squeezed her hand. He couldn't speak by then. I watched this and I thought, he knew, she knew. They didn't need to say it. I used this to justify another 10 years. Ellen was diagnosed in October of 2009. Pancreatic cancer. The doctor said the words, and she reached over and held my hand. I thought, she is comforting me. I could not speak. She had 18 months. She spent most of them being Ellen. She had more visitors than the hospital staff could manage. She organized my sock drawer from her hospital bed and said, "Finally, something useful to do." I think about those 18 months. I had 18 months, and I still didn't say it. I told myself, not yet. There will be a right moment, a moment big enough for this. I was waiting for a moment worthy of 40 years. The last morning was a Tuesday, April 12th, 2011. I was there. I was holding her hand. She opened her eyes and looked at me, and I could see that she knew. And I thought, now. Say it now. Walter, now. I opened my mouth, and I said, I know. That's what I said. I know. She smiled, and then she was gone. I have replayed that moment for 14 years. I know is not the same thing. I know that now. If you have the moment right now, not tomorrow, right now, use it. After the funeral, I sat in our kitchen for a long time. I had no idea what to do with the mornings. They were just quiet. I hadn't understood how much of my day had been organized around her saying those words. David called every day for 3 months. Michael flew in from Seattle. They were very good. I did not know what to do with their kindness. I thanked them a great deal. In the second year after she died, I started writing. Not a letter at first, just writing down what I remembered. Small things. The way she pronounced particularly. The specific orange of her coffee mug. What she smelled like. I had 43 years of small things. It took a long time. 3 years ago, I was 78, I decided to write the letter I should have written before. I think I had to earn the right to write it first. I had to understand fully what I hadn't said. I'm going to read it to you now. I have never read it aloud before. I wrote it to her, but I think she would not have minded if it helped someone else. Dear Ellen, I have been trying to write this for 11 years. I want to begin by telling you what I should have told you every morning for 43 years. I love you. I loved you when you laughed at that church dance in 1966 and I didn't know what to do with myself. I loved you when you told me I was worth the trouble. I loved you on Perkins Street and in the hospital and every Tuesday morning in the kitchen for 40 years. I know you knew. I know it. But knowing is not the same as hearing. I understand that now. I want to tell you about the things I noticed. You always burned the toast and never noticed. You remembered the names of every child David and Michael ever brought home. You cried at advertisements, not sad ones, any of them. You sang while you cooked, slightly off key, and when I mentioned this once, you said, I know, Walter, I'm singing to the food. Do you have someone like that? Someone you know so well you've stopped telling them? I want you to know that every morning when you said it, I heard it. Every single morning. I stored it. I didn't know I was storing it. But I have 43 years of I love you, Walter, and I have listened to every one of them since you left. They have kept me company. I am sorry I got my coat. Every morning for 40 years I got my coat. I am sorry it took me this long to understand that you deserved better than a man who got his coat. Our boys are good. David has a daughter now. Sophie, she's 7. She laughs exactly like you. Michael is in Seattle still. They call. They are good boys, Ellen. You made them good. I don't know if you can read this. I don't know much about what comes next, but I thought I would send it anyway in case the Postal Service has improved. I love you. I should have said it 43 years ago, and every morning in between. I love you. She would have found that last line funny, the Postal Service joke. She would have laughed. She always laughed at things that weren't quite supposed to be funny. I think she knew. I have to believe she knew. But I also think the knowing would have been better with the saying. That is the thing I most want someone to hear today. If you are watching this and there is someone you love and you don't say it, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm 81 years old and I spent 40 of them not saying it. I am not in a position to give advice. I can only tell you what it costs. It doesn't cost anything to say it. The not saying, that costs. She would have been 79 this year. She would have been loud about it. She would have demanded a party and pretended she didn't want a party, and then had the best time at the party. That was Ellen. I have her coffee mug, the orange one. I don't use it. It's in the cupboard. I know it's there. I don't have regrets about my life. I had a good life, good work, good sons, good years. But if I could go back just to one Tuesday morning, any of them, I would not get my coat. I would turn around and say, I love you too, Ellen. That's all, just, I love you too. No voiceover. Silence.